Welcome back to Chaosvash's live gameplay. Now we're playing Stories, The Path of Destiny, episode 30. Yes, you heard me correctly. Episode 30 after 30 episodes in this bitch. Alright, other than that, let's get started, shall we? Let's see if we can forge ourselves a new path and forge our own destiny. Tell Destiny to kiss our black ass. Let me stop. Oh man, we tell Destiny to stop. Shit, Destiny probably be like, how dare you? How dare you? Oh man.
It was a short, safe landing. At least this part of the Nexus hadn't changed. It's too much.
Alright, give me 1 second, please. I'll be right back, right back. 2 minutes. Wait, no way the hell he beat. He didn't even come on here. How the hell he get? Alright, sorry. No, it was longer than expected. Tell my brother to go to sleep. He always likes sleeping in the friggin' recliner chair.
Zenobia had been
Alright,
taken
yeah, I was
into the
just scoping
Imperial
through
outpost.
Twitter. Somebody just said that they
She'd
beat
never
Far Cry
expected
5.
to go there by
I
himself.
says, no way you can beat Far Cry 5.
Well,
The game doesn't even come out
maybe
yet. I
she
mean, unless
would.
he was mad
Never
to get
knew
herself
her.
an early copy, even though I'm pretty sure the game is not that damn short. You know what I'm saying, you know? So basically, he must do everything. You know? No way to worry, he could be in that game already. And then he talk about, oh, how? Well, like I said, well, I don't know. I can't judge nobody. You know what I'm saying? You know, if he did, say he did, I guess he did. You know what I'm saying? I might just be curious enough to check it out, but...
Bernardo knew Zenobia, and Zenobia knew him. She'd suspected a trick. Now he'd vanished. She would probably guess that was his plan all along. Perfect. Maybe she wouldn't use the Sky Ripper. At least not without taking it to the scientists at the observatory first. Meanwhile, the Emperor would be coming to the outpost personally. This could be good. Renato was face to face with the Emperor's bodyguard. They looked very tough, but the Emperor held them back.
Oh, where's my daughter?
And how would I know that? Renato grinned at him.
She lured me here so that you could kill me, didn't she?
Ah, don't be ridiculous, said Renato, trying his best to sound convincing. She loves you.
Oh, I knew it. The rabbit told me I couldn't trust her.
The Emperor hopped out the door. His phalanx of bodyguards retreated carefully. Renato heard someone call, "Arrest her!" as they left. Well, that's a job well done, thought Renato. Now the fleet will be in all sorts of disarray. But maybe he could find her in the mountains. She always used to go to the mountains to hide from the world. Maybe he could even turn her against her father. Or maybe he could reap the benefits of the chaos he had sown. It was time to report to the Rebel Council, and then launch the attack on a divided and very confused Imperial fleet. Renato felt very clever indeed. He wondered if he should have just told her the truth about her father. The Emperor had adopted her from a stray. That was the source of all her loyalty. But even then, he'd been dreaming of a bargain with the lost gods. They alone could make him immortal. The Emperor would have to seal that bargain with the life of someone who truly loved him. And who else truly loved the Emperor? But how could Renato tell her that now? Why would she ever believe him? The funny thing was, she should have trusted him. He told her the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
So help me
Oh,
God.
all right. The truth was, he'd played her like a fiddle. And how often had he ever done that? She was so smart. Smarter than him, really.
Renato had given away the location of the secret base. Fortunately, the Emperor thought it was all a trap. He even mistrusted his own daughter. Renato couldn't have done better if he'd planned it.
What have you done to me? Zenobia demanded. My own father thinks I'm a traitor.
So?
But I'm loyal. So what? You're a bastard, Renato, she said. Now, you love that about me. You really did want the core, didn't you? And the Iblis stone.
Yep.
He gloated. You get all that? She said to the far speaker toad he'd failed to spot.
I am so relieved, my daughter.
Said the far speaker. And Zenobia got into her ship and flew off. Damn it. The old far speaker trick. How had he missed it? This was very bad. Zenobia back in her father's good graces, and both of them ready to use the core and the Iblis stone. He got back in the Farfarer. Briefly, Renato thought of fleeing. The odds were surely against him. Never tell me the odds, he told himself. Odds confused him. He preferred to trust his gut. And so he sailed on to attack the fleet. Alone, if necessary.
Goddamn bitch.
There were not many rebels here, and they were disorganized. The Empire had obviously attacked the secret base. The formerly secret base, whose location Renato had so helpfully pinpointed on a map. There was still time to turn around, wasn't there? But Renato hated turning around. Heroes don't turn around, they just own their screw-ups and turn them into impossible victories, right? Renato had a feeling that was the back door to something. But what? The odd thing was, Renato's personal battle was going fairly well. The Ravens immediately in front of him were no quicker or tougher than usual. Where was the power of the core, blasting him off into the abyss? And where was Zenobia? She must be up to something. But whatever it was, it wasn't his problem. Not yet, anyway. It was all going surprisingly well. At last, he came to Zenobia and the Emperor. She was sealing up a kind of squat coffin, banded with lead.
So glad you're here.
Croaked the Emperor.
You will be witness to my final victory.
That's creepy, Dad, said Zenobia. But thank you. Because of your shenanigans, we tested the core. It's really unstable. It could have blown us all up.
It could?
Said Renato, a little frustrated that she'd figured it out. Anyway, we already destroyed your secret base, so we don't need a super weapon. We're just going to bury it. Do we, torture you? Or give you a medal? Sometime later, Renato got an invitation to attend the Emperor's ritual sacrifice of his daughter. They took him out of his dungeon cell and gave him all his medals to wear. A little while after that, the Lost Gods returned, and the sun went black, and the Emperor ate his soul.
Yeah. Right, right. Alright, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4 more to go.
The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer.
Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Bernardo knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong. But he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis Stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it. To take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. And also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Of course.
Be like
Bernardo had a
Lapino.
pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion. And he had a gut feeling that he needed to use that to his advantage.
Every child could sing verses about the Sky Ripper, but ancient codices held hints of other things. A stone that ate souls, a ruby that drank blood, a jewel only a righteous man could give away.
Were all these things the Iblis Stone? Long hidden in a buried temple? Another ancient item that was only resurfacing now? Drawn up from the deeps by the Emperor's horrific rituals? Ravens were already here, cawing in frustration. They were still searching for a way in. Good. Then he hadn't come too late.
Now you're foxed.
There had to be some way to use the Iblis Stone. It was old, wasn't it? People are so much cleverer now. And Renato was pretty sure he was cleverer than most people. The Ravens at least could not get past this point. Obviously, the temple builders knew how to deal with Tomb Raiders.
It was a stone of the purest blackness. It reflected no light, like a void made solid. Nervous, he picked it up. It was the stone, eager, thirsty. That seemed tempting and terribly wrong. Zenobia was the Emperor's greatest general and a potent witch. But they had been close once, and he had a sneaking suspicion the gem would try to control him. Why not capture the core of Sky Ripper instead? It was the eye of a lost god torn out by the Transcendent Emperor to power his greatest weapon. "Put the core," said the stone anxiously. But even though Renato knew how evil the gem was, he had a clever plan for dealing with it. Why was he listening?
Do.
As he placed the impossibly black crystal in his gauntlet, Renato had a sudden vision. Charred fields covered in dead ravens below a black sun. Was it the time of the lost gods before the Transcendent Emperor? Was it the future? These, it whispered. Take the power. He could feel the stone's hunger for souls, its thirst for blood. All right, I get it. This was going to be interesting. This chest was filled with reprints of the entire Sandman series. Reprints? What was the point of collecting those? Something else. The ravens on Zenobia's island were no match for Renato. They screamed as the stones sucked out their souls. And with each death, he felt stronger. Take the power, the stone told him. He couldn't do worse with Zenobia than he'd done with the core, could he? Zenobia. Finally, Renato caught up to her. He had never seen her scared before. At school, she'd been the determined, brave one. Now her eyes were wide, frightened. He didn't like seeing her this way. "Kill her," whispered the stone. "You cannot win your rebellion without it. Please, no."
said Zenobia. Not that way. Oh, they had been so close once. Could he really feed her soul to his demonic gem? But if he spared her, he would not get the full power of the stone. Oh, how could he be the hero he wanted to be? With a flick of his wrist, he slashed Zenobia's throat. Her eyes widened even more. And then the light went out of them. Bernardo felt amazing. Power was rushing into him like water from a burst dam.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
The Nexus was beautiful. He'd never realized how beautiful. Everything glowed. The wind was so sweet. The sun so soft. The stones so warm. The black raven feathers. Black feathers.
Oh, I'm good, man. How you doing?
His eyes filled. Falling through smoke under a dead sun. A voice called him home. Is this a vision?
You know what I'm saying? You know, just making some progress in this game, you know what I mean?
Is this the time of the lost gods?
You know, just playing some Mafia 3, watch some anime, you know.
What mattered now?
Yeah, the usual good stuff.
Outpost and challenging the Emperor from there. Remembering all his old tricks, and some new ones. Now, he really ought to ask for a raise.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Up ahead was Lupino. What was he doing here? Bernardo! Hey, buddy! Hey there, old buddy! Please don't kill me! He'd go to the outpost, use their far speaker, tell the Emperor what he'd done. And then, he'd go to the secret rebel base. Let them know he was ready to lead them to victory. Renato rampaged through the Imperial outpost like a water buffalo.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll something too, you know what I'm saying, you know? Like give us a bit different, you know what I'm saying? You know, give us like maybe let's see. What could they give us? What could they give us?
The Emperor was scared, like little girl. Well,
so much to choose from, you know what I'm saying? No, but yeah, but like you said, just give us something good, you know what I'm saying? Something that we haven't like played before, you know?
Applauded the Iblistone. Tremendous. Then the Emperor would have to answer his far speaker, wouldn't he? Who are you? Asked a distant voice that sounded uncomfortably like Zenobia. What have you become?
Oh, dude. Oh, that'd be sweet. If they were to do that, man, shot, man. That'd be crazy.
demanded the Iblis Stone. I need to think, Renato told it. You're not good at thinking, said the Iblis Stone.
Well, I own either one, so you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. So that would be definitely good for me. You know what I'm saying? You know, I could definitely, you know, like play one of those games, you know what I'm saying? You know, like you said. But, you know, I think Far Cry would be better because you know what I'm saying? Because since the fact that Far Cry 5 is coming out, I think that I think giving people like Far Cry 4 or Far Cry Primal would be freaking huge, you know what I'm saying? For
Why
those
were there Raven scouts
for
here
those
in the
people who
empty
never like
mountains?
really got into the
Was there
series.
nowhere he could find peace and quiet? There were other ravens here too. Shadowy ones, transparent, lining the path. Ghosts. They called as he passed, but they didn't try to stop him. Spectators. Had he really killed that many ravens?
You know, you don't smell any better when you...
Then he saw her. Zenobia. She was a ghost too. She ran off when she saw him. How could a ghost be afraid? He followed her. He had to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, you know, like give people a chance, you know, for those who never really like.
Renato followed Zenobia's ghost. Had he gone mad, seeing ghosts? Was she running from him or leading him somewhere? He'd come here to be alone, but he'd never been less
Oh,
alone in his
yeah,
life.
of course. Well, why not, right?
Every raven he had slain haunted these rocks. Was this who he was? A killer. He was terribly good. He was an adventurer. Or was that just another word for killer? Whispered the stone. Destiny. Ooh, sparkly, thought Renato. Focus on the job he had. A rebellion. Wasn't there a battle coming soon? There'd be ravens to kill. Even an emperor. Such killing. Much wow.
Ooh, he'd never been so excited. At the end of the mountain path, Zenobia awaited him. "Why did you kill me?" she said. "I was your prisoner, and I loved you." "I needed the power," he said. "Haven't you heard? There's a war on." "Then what's your excuse for killing me?" asked his old friend Lapino, stepping out of the shadows. "Because a filthy traitor?" said Renato. For once, Lapino didn't reply. The demon has twisted you," said Zenobia. "Abandon the stone. You've lost too much already." Her words bit deeper than any sword ever had. So he shook his head, and once again swung his blade through her and Lapino. It had to all mean something. If he gave up the stone now, he would have sacrificed Zenobia and Lapino for nothing. So, Renato set course for the Imperial fleet, where he would end it all. The Emperor, the war, the madness. Renato boarded an Imperial ship. No one could stop him slashing his way towards the Emperor. Yes, that was right. To give up now would be to lose everything for nothing. But if he could liberate the land from the Mad Emperor, then he could give up the stone in peace. And those were absolutely his own thoughts, not the stone manipulating him. Right? Oh, yes, exulted the stone. Feel your power. We'll make history today.
I think so, you know what I'm saying? I believe it had maybe like four or five more slots to go, you know what I'm saying, you know? To complete the entire storyboard, you know?
I have to kill the Emperor.
So you know what I'm saying? So, you know,
He told himself. That's what it meant to
I'm making
be a
some great
to
progress.
do what had to be done, no matter how terrible the cost. Yes. And then you can have peace. Promised the stone. The tiny voice, whatever it was silent. He couldn't see ghosts around him, but he could feel them. If he gave up now, they would be angry. They would have all died for nothing. Who could give up this kind of power? Could anyone? Only just a fox with a talent for sword play. How had this bird come to him? The Emperor offered the sword. Yes. That is what he wanted. Soon he'd confront the Emperor. Funny that this whole war had come about because the Emperor feared death. And now it was coming for him. There was some sort of lesson there, wasn't there?
The Emperor was cowering in front of his ship.
No, please don't kill me.
Croaked Emperor Isengrim III.
Here, take the crown. I don't want it anymore.
You must kill him, or he will let us loose. He will send assassins.
Please, have mercy. The rebellion is won. Or you could be emperor. I'll just go be a scientist, or minstrel, or sell gummy bears. Yeah, I promise not to bother you.
With all the love he'd ever had for Zenobia, for Lupino, for the kit foxes he would never have, Renato raised his sword. And Renato plunged his sword into his own chest. Wait. What? Renato screamed as his life force ebbed into the stone and surged back into him, and ebbed out and surged back in. Screamed the stone. It began to heat up. What have you done? The stone began to glow. It became white hot. It became lava. Nice knowing you, said Renato, as the lava ran like butter. And he died.
See? So as you see here, I got 1, 2, got 3 more to go. 3 more to go. Oh, probably the same thing, you know what I'm saying? So you know what it is? I usually stream, you know what I'm saying, the same games until I beat them, and then once I beat them, then I just move on to the next one, you know what I'm saying? I like maybe sometimes I might play, maybe like a couple other games, maybe like a little bit earlier. I might play Knights of Valor, or I might play Kovar's Revenge. That's like an old, like Neo Geo SNK, like arcade fighter that they had. So what I mean, what I'm saying, so I might like play that or play that, you know what I mean? So. But if anything, like for me, like my steaming, I'll usually just play, like I'll usually play, the same game until I beat it. You know what I'm saying? Because before, before you started watching Steam, I played Attack on Titan, the first one. It took me 186 episodes to finish it.
The clouds parted.
So yeah, so I was 186 videos I broadcasted of that game for me to get platinum.
Were scouting for the secret rebel base.
186 videos.
Pieces of
you know what I'm saying? Same thing for Berserker. It was about maybe like 86, 100, something like that. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, man. So I try to get that platinum. You know what I'm saying? I don't like play a game for like a while and then just switch on to another one. Nah, that's not me.
It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it. To take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. And also, his old friend Lupino needed rescuing. Of course, Renato had a pretty strong suspicion that Lupino had betrayed the rebellion. And he had a gut feeling that he needed to use that to his advantage. The island was windswept desert. Every child could sing verses about the Sky Ripper, But ancient codices held hints of other things. A stone that
Yep. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? No, just hard work, dedication, man. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back.
souls. A ruby that drank blood. A jewel only a righteous man could give away. Were all these things the Iblis stone? Long hidden in a buried temple. Another ancient item that was only resurfacing now. Drawn up from the deeps by the Emperor's horrific rituals.
Ugh.
Still searching for a way in. Good. And he hadn't come too late.
Whoa, personal space.
There had to be some way to use the Iblis stone. It was old, wasn't it? People are so much cleverer now. And Renato was pretty sure he was cleverer than most people. Not get past this point. Obviously, the temple builders knew how to deal with tomb raiders.
energy cannons. The last argument of kings.
Oh no, that's cool, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. Matter of fact, after this part right here, and I select the next thing, I'm about to call it a night, man. So don't worry about it, man. Look, as long as you enjoy yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to utter two little words. You know what I mean? As long as you enjoy yourself, you're having a good time. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much all I care about.
It was the stone. Eager. Thirsty. That seemed tempting and terribly wrong. Zenobia was the Emperor's greatest general and a potent witch. But they had been close once, and he had a sneaking suspicion the gem would try to control him. Why not capture the core of Sky Ripper instead? It was the eye of a lost god torn out by the transcendent Emperor to power his greatest weapon. "What's the core?" said the stone anxiously. But even though Renato knew how evil the gem was, he had a clever plan for dealing with it. The stone bothered him. The moment he landed the Farfarer, Renato had a rare feeling of regret. It's not too late, he thought. He could turn around himself as a...
All right, that is it for me. As you see, we had a great day today. Great day, you know what I'm saying? Always good to hear about the gaming news. You know what I'm saying? They gave us some nice, fresh anime news, like I always do, day in and day out. You know what I'm saying? You know, then we kicked it off with some Mafia 3. Got some great progress. Took over into the district. Finally got me a nice, good assault rifle. So coming down there and just start the mayhem and the carnage. And then lastly, we kicked it off with stories by the Destiny. As you can see, we're making great progress here. So we just got 3 more to go. 1, 2, and 3. And then I'll just handle the rest of the trophies. Once you get the sweet, sweet platinum, just move on to the next game. You know what I'm saying? You know, but other than that, man, I hope you all have a good night. This is your boy, the one and only Chaosvash, a.k.a. Low.01, signing off. Stay cool, stay safe, stay breezy, real breezy. I'll holler at y'all later on tonight. Hold with some more gaming news and anime news. And once again, thank those on Twitch and also YouTube, man, for still, you know what I'm saying, following me, you know what I'm saying, appreciate it. Like I said, man, subscribe to me, subscribe to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Spread the word, you know what I'm saying? Try and get that YouTube, that Twitch money. Peace.